Hello all, thank you very much for tuning in. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the possibilities of what you can do with a Lionel Hudson, the 763, then 700. Of course, Lionel came out with it in the second week of December in 1937. Really had its big debut in 1938. And it was a wonderful engine, but you were limited to how many New York Central Hudsons you wanted to have on your layout. Well, one gentleman took the challenge of how many you could have on your layout, Robert Foster of St. Louis. And he modified some 20 Hudsons over a course of several years and wrote several articles. Here's one article from June 1941, where he had already done a dozen variety of Lionel engines, turning them into everything from a 444 to a Pacific, a couple variations on the Hudsons, kind of semi-streamlined variety. And then a mere 18 months later, he comes up with an article now in Model Builders, kind of sanctioned by Lionel. Lionel would have been happy to anyone buying 20 of their product and then modifying them into other products. And now Robert has done a Northern. And not only does he picture them, but he gives a full description on how you too can make a Northern out of a Hudson. Chop here, add a little bit of a seam here between the extension on the boiler, take this drive part from one engine, add it to the chassis of the other. He went on to continue making additional engines, and then you wonder, well, what are you going to do with all those extra parts? Well, he came up with an answer for that too. He made an articulated. So over the course of time, we're guessing he made somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 or 30 engines. Here are a couple examples of the Foster engines. We have a semi-streamlined Hudson here. We have one of his early ones here, using a Scalecraft tender. And his crack passenger train was the American, which he was running 9 Walthers, heavyweight Walthers cars, being pulled by a Hudson, which is pretty amazing. You can see one of my earlier videos where this engine here is pulling the American set. So tonight we're running this Northern here, following the Foster modifications, where you have the 763 up front here, the 763 back here, and the center's been added, and then a modification to the chassis to extend it. So, and then of course running outside third rail, scratch built tender, Scalecraft reefer car, and a couple of the Walthers cars from Foster's Atlantic Pacific Railroad. So, thank you very much for tuning in. If you like old vintage trains, please subscribe. And we'll head out here. Runs quite smoothly. Replaced the Lionel motor with a K&D number 3. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, these were not holy relics when they were made. Foster was all too happy to modify engines for his own personal use. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you want to see more old trains.